Hey guys, welcome back to class. So today we're going to look at string slicing. We're going to slice a string up into substrings and apply them to different variables and then print them back out to the console. So let's go ahead and go to the desktop. Once again, you should already have Notepad open, and so we're going to start. The first thing we have to do is create a string variable to hold our main string. And so what we're going to do is we're going to call this one Hobbit. Hobbit. The intro. And you notice I use camel case here. I started the variable name with lowercase because you have to. But instead of putting white space in here, I made this all one line, but I capitalized the next word. So we're going to go Hobbit equals, in parentheses, in a hole in the ground. Lived a hobbit. Okay. In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. If you know anything about The Hobbit, the book, then you'll know that that's the first line. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to take a section of that and we're going to pull it out and put it in a new variable called segment. And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to use the slicing techniques from Python string operations. There's some things that we can do to pull out. First of all, we have to count some places, though. It's important to remember that a string is an array, and that array index begins at 0, so we have to start counting at 0. What we want is where the hobbit lives, a hole in the ground. So we start counting here. We're going to go 0, 1, 2. We're going to start at number 3. Okay, so we're going to start at place 3. And we're going to go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, because we want to stop at 22. So that means we have to put in 23. So under segment, we're going to use the slice method. Use square brackets. 3, 23. And that should, that should pull out the segment we need, and now we're going to print that segment to the console. So this should take care of our program. Let's go ahead and save it. And now let's go ahead and run it. We need to open up a command prompt. We need to change to our directory. So we're going to go, CD, and it was in C:\\Python code. Let's check by running the directory command. Sure enough, there's our Python exercise 3. So we start by running it. We type in the word Python and then the name of the file. Hit it. And sure enough, a hole in the ground. So we know where the hobbit lived now, a hole in the ground. All right, so our program works. Let's go back and see why. First of all, we put in the string that we're using as our source material. That's the first line of the book, The Hobbit. In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. We want the question answered, where did the hobbit live? Obviously, he lived in a hole in the ground. We don't want the comma. We do want to start counting our places at 0, 1, 2, 3. So we have to begin at place 3, and we did. Now we want the entire segment, but we want it to end here before the comma, which the comma is space 23. So in order to get the segment out, we have to start counting at the place that we want to start, which is 3. And then we have to count places until we get to where we want to stop. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Now, you would think we only wanted to go to 22 because we don't want the comma, but we want to stop at 22, which means we have to include space 23. If I'd wanted the comma, I would have had to gone to 24, which would be this blank space here. So when using the string slice, you go from where you want to start to the space after you want to end. Once you do that, you can assign that segment into a variable named segment or anything else you want it to be assigned or named. And then we print that segment, we print that variable to the console. And that is how we can use slicing. That is how we can move things around. So let's say we want to get everything up to the comma starting from the beginning. We could do that a different way. Essentially what we can do, we can leave off the beginning character and just go, yeah. And then we go to 23 again. And what this will do is it'll give us the first phrase, in a hole in the ground. It'll pick up everything from the beginning to the comma. And so that's where we want to go next. So if I go print character, then what it should do is it's going to do the first part. Actually, let's get rid of that first part. And let's save it again. Now let's run that one more time. There. Now let's do it, Python. In a hole in the ground, and exactly what we expected is what it did. Essentially, it started at the beginning, since we didn't specify a place to start, and it gave us all the way to the character before, not including character 23, it gave us all the way up to character 23, and that's essentially what it does. The slice function gives you all the way up to character 23. So that is how we can collect pieces of strings, and that is how we can take them and rearrange them. In fact, you can use this in just about any kind of program. You can use this in game programming. So you have a large collection of text that describes all the stuff in your game. Then you can go in and write these little slices to get pieces of that paragraph and put it wherever it needs to go in your game. So that would be an example of when you'd want to use this. So there's a lot of things that you can do with string slicing. All right, guys, so that's how we slice a string. Go ahead and look at the assignment down below this video and complete it. Turn the file in, and you'll be finished with this one. Have a good day. If you have any questions, I can be reached through the Canvas inbox.